Hey guys, SGT Nickel here, and this probably is a no-brainer for a lot of people, but I know there's some people who don't know how to use one of these because I had to actually learn myself. I've never used one of these exact same ones before, and I sort of just figured it out, and I'm going to now do a video on it. So this here is a propane catalytic heater. I've got a 20-pound cylinder that's been filled. And I've got this rod. Now it's a left-hand thread, so you don't turn it conventionally, as in going around this way. You have to thread it in this way to tighten it. So that's the first thing a lot of people don't know about these propane tanks, is it's a reverse thread. So when you loosen it, you turn it to tight like you would tightening a jam jar. But to tighten the propane on, you need to turn it as if you were loosening a jam jar. So it's just the opposite direction. So you'll turn it this way, this nut here. So this is in. I got it tight. I did my soap test, so I know it's not leaking. You just get some spray water with some soap and just give it a little spritz and make sure that there's no leak. You turn it on your valve, and then you do your spritz test. You don't just thread it in and then test it, because of course there's no propane coming through. So you open your valve all the way. To open it, just regular, you turn it this way to open it, and you would turn it the opposite way like you were doing a jam jar to close a jam jar to close your propane. So it's the opposite as threading your catalytic heater in or your device. The valve turns the opposite way. So we've got it fully open. And next thing we want to do is adjust our gas flow, and that's this little sucker here. And I'm going to push this button, and you're going to hear it hiss. When I hold it, I don't hear it hissing. So I'm going to open it up a little bit more, and there, I can hear it hissing. So that's good. I just blown away the excess propane because I just bled some, and I don't want it to flare up too much. I don't want a big fireball coming at my face when I go to light it. So now we're ready to light it. This is probably the most dangerous part. What I recommend is you get your lighter going first, and you heat it up behind here. There's a little rod. In fact, I'll bring the camera over for you guys. So, as you can see, there's a rod right there, and that's where you want your flame to be touching. Just right there, you're going to heat that up. And what it's going to do is when that gets hot, it's going to open, and it's going to keep letting the propane go through. So you push this button here, and you can hear it hissing. And of course there could be a little flare up because I just released some, but we're okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and light the sucker, and this is where it gets a little tricky because you have to hold the flame there with one hand. I'm going to hold the flame up behind here, and then we have to push this button until it actually ignites, and you keep holding this. You don't release this button until that guy gets good and red. You want to make sure the catalytic gets hot enough to stay open. Now oh, no, it wasn't hot enough. Ooh, there we go. So, I'm going to give it a bit more gas. Try and get it good and hot. I think we're hot enough. Yeah, I can release it now and keep it going. Now I can adjust my heat. I can crank it, but that just uses more propane. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit and just have an ambient heat going, and that will be sparingly on this. And because it's already warm in here somewhat, as temperature drops tonight around 3:34, and as we get further into the evening it's only going to get colder, this can keep up and just keep me at an even temperature inside the house. Now I got vents open, windows open, stuff like that, just a crack. Approximately, they'd say 9-inch by 9-inch opening is what you need, or you can suffocate. This uses up oxygen. It's burning, so one thing to keep in mind. I was worried about water, actually, because when you burn propane you get water. And I had this thing burning this morning, and it stayed pretty dry in here. I didn't get any condensation buildup, so I was happy about that. So I mean, it's pretty good. You can move them around. You don't want them close to anything to where you can cause a fire, of course. As you can see, I have a ghillie suit here, and if this is up against there, I'd have a fire. So I don't want it really close to anything. I sort of want the center of the room, and I have it aimed out towards my living space. So that's just, yeah, it works very well. I don't think these are very expensive. This thing's pretty old. In fact, I'm going to go out and buy myself one now because this is definitely a damn good thing to have. This was lent to me this morning because I was freezing my butt off, and thank God I got neighbors that are nice. So, yeah. So anyway, thought I'd do a video. It's a very good thing to have. I think if it weren't for that heater, I'd be moving out. I would not be here because I can't. I mean, I'd be better off in my tent, to tell you the truth. When it got really cold in here, it'd be more comfortable being in a tent because my body heat would keep the tent warm, and I can even pile snow on the tent, and that'll insulate. Snow's a great insulator. It will not drop lower than 0 degrees, so that's as cold as snow gets. If you are in sub-zero temperatures, like even -4, if you get in the snow, you're in a warmer environment than in basically exposed to the elements of -4 degrees. And if you have a, like if I was in a tent, let's say, and there was snow on the tent, that'd keep it well insulated. So my body heat, also inside either a snow cave or a tent, is what's going to heat the place up, and actually it gets really toasty. But as you can see, this room is a lot bigger than a tent. This is 420 square feet, and we're going 14 feet up. That's where the ceiling is. It's 12 feet on this side and 14 on the high side, so it's a lot of space. 12 by 12 by 14 is over 100 cubed square. Yeah, I could get out the calculator. I'm not going to do that. It is, like, it's a big space. That's what I'm trying to say. So the propane heater is a great thing to have. It's definitely doing its job. So yeah, I think it should be on your list as far as gear, what gear you should have. In my opinion, before you go out and buy any firearms, before you go out even buy any ammo, before you go out and buy like these fancy knives people have, get one of these. Get yourself a propane heater. Yeah, it's gonna keep you alive by far longer than any gun's ever gonna keep you alive. All these preppers, they go straight to the gun. I was guilty. I did it too. When the first thing I went out and got was camping gear, but I mean, guns was pretty high up there. And to be honest, I'm in a shit hit the fan scenario right now, and I don't even need to use my guns. I'm not going to need to use my guns. It's not even hunting season. So if I were to hunt, I'd be poaching even. So it's just sort of my perspective of how I'm seeing it really play out now, that, you know, that should be #1 on your list. Propane heater. Thanks for watching.